Good morning, Kennedy, Colorado. We're excited to have you here for our March regional rally. We got a ton of things to cover. Thanks to Kelly, Jenny, and Leslie for always putting a great regional rally together. Starting off with some announcements. Hey, as many of you know, NAR just presented a settlement to, I don't know exactly how to say this. A settlement has been presented for $400 million for NAR. I wanted to just speak briefly about this situation and a couple things that are really important for you to know. First of all, if you have not gotten the email, who by show of hands has gotten an email from KWRI this morning on this? Some of you have not. So if you have not gotten an email as an agent from KWRI talking about the 100-page settlement document, please see your leadership and ask them to forward the leadership version of it to you. Immediately after NAR disclosed the settlement, which has not been finalized, many agents and many people in the media began pumping out information about this 100-page document. In fact, some of the information came out so quickly that one couldn't possibly have even read the entire 100-page document before creating opinions. Couple things I want to say on this. Any changes that were discussed in that document are changes for July. So nothing has changed for your business today. And be patient as we figure out as an industry what these changes are going to look like. Buyer representation agreements are required. They've really always been, for most of our market centers, a required thing. We never paid agents. We don't pay agents on the buy side of a transaction without buyer agency agreements. What is slightly being changed or maybe just emphasized is the absolute necessity of buyer representation agreements prior to any real contact, which a lot of us haven't been doing in practice. Offers of cooperative compensation are starting in July will no longer be made in the same way through the MLS, and more news on what that's going to look like starting in July. And there are some additional things that are going to be altered or emphasized in a new way. See your local leadership about what that should look like, and don't post on social media about it. That's the strongest advice we can give as an industry to you, or as a company to you. So to that end, KW is recommending your participation in our Value Squared class. We had a first, we've already had two sessions of this. One at Family Reunion with about 700 people in attendance. And then we had a digital version, I think it was last week. The next one, which will be updated to include the most recent settlement with NAR, that will be on Tuesday of next week. You can go to events.kw.com to sign up for that. And it's really important that we all get on this and that we understand how to present our value in a really great way going forward. So Gary Keller's been planning Value Squared since I think November or so. Your region invited Nikki Ubaldini to come to Colorado. I'm sorry, I got too many windows open here. On April 10th from 9 to 4 at the PPA Center in Denver to talk about how to work with buyers, how to list your buyers for success. Nikki is an expert at this. She's been teaching this class forever. And because KW had their settlement on the same lawsuit back in October, we elected to bring Nikki here because we thought this was a timely topic, and April 10th is the day. Kelly, do you want to add anything regarding this event?
No, I just was gonna say I dropped both the value squared and the registration link for this in the chat.
Yeah, so please make it an effort to attend both of these things. Value Squared will be continually offered. There are 3 more sessions at events.kw.com. The next one being Tuesday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing Brent Mitchell on coffee and profit share. Brent was 2023's top growth partner for KW. He added more people to his profit share tree than anyone else. I think he also won it in 22.
He's won it 12 times.
He's won it 12 times. So if you're thinking about profit share and how to get your unfair share of the share, attend this. Brent's an expert. And I'd encourage team leaders to attend this as well. As a team leader myself, Brent was one of my top sources for talent to my market center because he chooses to add people to his profit share tree all across the United States and Canada. So don't miss that. Leslie, you want to say something on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Don't forget that I do teach weekly regional classes for you every Thursday at 11 a.m. This week, we'll be talking about how to really generate warmer and more engaging interactions in Command. So don't miss it. Last week, I discussed and taught how to really start creating seller Facebook leads, or excuse me, seller Facebook ads in Command. So if you missed that one, that one's posted to the YouTube channel, the Colorado Regional YouTube channel. And just know that every call is recorded, so you can go back and push play.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. And all of our YouTube videos are at our YouTube channel at KW Colorado Region 7. Follow that so you never miss a thing. My Free Life is coming up in 2 forms. March 20th, Wednesday, My Free Life Light, which is a free webinar. You can scan the QR code for details, and Kelly will put the link to that, I think, in the chat if she hasn't already done so. And then My Free Life full 2-day event, March 27th and 28th, 9 to 4 on the 27th, 9 to noon on the 28th. This is going to be taking place in the Tech Center at 6300 South Syracuse Way. Don't miss an opportunity to hang out with Jordan for a couple days. Also, we have the KW Wealth Workshop. The KW Wealth Workshop is no longer being held at KWRI. So we've got Brett and Gabby coming to Denver, April 17th, 12 to 5. There is a $299 cost to this, and we believe it's a tremendous value. Let me play this video from Brett.
All right, if you're thinking about coming to the KW Wealth Roadshow, I want to talk to 2 groups of people. The first one, I'm going to tell you who this isn't for. If you already have all the passive income, the wealth, tax strategies, and you're crushing it financially, this workshop isn't for you. Everyone else, listen up. You're going to spend 5 or 6 hours doing nothing but understanding your money more, your taxes, and your plan. And I want you to ask yourself a question as you think about this right now. When was the last time in your entire life that you spent 6 hours on your money? If you're like most people, that answer is never, right? We'll spend 20 hours planning a dream vacation, but we won't spend 6 hours planning the most important thing in your entire life, which I believe is your financial well-being, because that gives you all the options. You're going to leave with at least $10,000 of tax strategies. I promise you, if that doesn't happen, you come to me, I'll give you your money back for your ticket myself. You're going to understand the flows of money. When money comes into your world, how should that come out of your business into your personal? And how do you know when to invest and what to invest in? We're going to look at different asset classes, right? We all think real estate and we default to single family homes. The reality is there's a lot more asset classes than single family houses. There's everything from debt, commercial, triple net commercial buildings, natural gas royalties. There's tons of different options there. We're going to explore all of that. We're going to give you tools, calculators, and resources so that when you come across a great investment, you know exactly what to do with it. Don't miss our next workshop in your area.
Okay, so Wealth Workshop is Wednesday, April 17th. Kelly, what does someone need to do to sign up for that?
I dropped the registration link in the chat.
Registration link is in the chat. This would be an awesome opportunity to bring somebody that is not with KW to the event. It is, it's $299.
Before Shopify, were you wondering where are my sales at? But now you're selling with Shopify. You're easily selling online, in person, and beyond. Discover how millions of entrepreneurs use Shopify to ignite their selling. Sign up for a
Okay, forgot to turn that off. This is a great opportunity to bring somebody that's not with KW, so don't miss it.
All right, if you're thinking about coming to the
Okay, Rocky Mountain Summit. Rocky Mountain Summit is September 25th through 27th. We've got the luxury summit on the 25th. We've got the general session starting on the 26th with breakouts, masterminds, our VIP breakfast with Maxwell. John Maxwell is on the 27th in the morning, and then the general session and keynote with John immediately after that. We end at noon this year so that y'all can get back home. All of our events are at kwcoloradoevents.com. So we move now to some celebration of agents. Top individuals for February 2024. Closed units. Aaron Life from Denver West was our number 5 agent. There was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way tie for number 4 with 4 units. Melody Brunetti from downtown, Jennifer Hart from Longmont, Corey Martin from DTC, Samuel Newman and Diane Goldsmith from the Highlands, and Ryan Rose from downtown. And our top 3 for closed units, Brandon Tumich, tie for second place with 5 units each. The Integrity Group, Robert Gallegos, Tim Wade, Lauren Wilson, and Sheila Bailey. And number 1 was Jody Bohena from downtown Colorado Springs. Congrats all. For volume, Julianne Zenz from Vail was number 10. Lauren Wilson, number 9. Michael Smith, number 8. Jody, number 7. Number 6 with Christy Watson from Denver North. Number 5 was Matthew Zettel from DTC. Tim Wade was number 4. And our top 3, Sheila Bailey at number 3, Doug Taylor number 2, and Danielle Demeliak from Vail. Congratulations on top closed volume agents. Moving to GCI individuals, Doug Taylor at number 10, Ted Richardson at number 9, Tony Giaccone at number 8, Julianne Zenz at number 7, Jody Bohena at number 6, Heath Ruggles at number 5, Christy Watson at number 4, and the top 3 for GCI. Matthew Zettel was number 3 at 92,740. Daniela Demeliak at 110,250, and Sheila Bailey led individuals in February with 124,896, and she's from Denver West. Moving on to teams, 2 licenses. Closed units, number 5, the J&J Group, Northern Colorado, the Bedwell Group, partners, the Dolph team. I think I saw Jody a second ago. Congrats, Jody. Phillips team, Foothills, Malarcy Home Network from Highlands. Number 4, with 5 units, Platinum Property Team from Client's Choice. And the top 3, the Mountain Group and High Cap Homes with 6 units each. Seed Property Group with 7. And Team Rochelle Cozzolino from Pueblo was in number 1. Volume, the Mountain Group number 10, the Collective number 9, the J&J Group number 8, Valor Home Team number 7. Number 6 was Jill McFerrin Group. Number 5, Molly Malarcy Home Network. Number 4, Team Rochelle Cozzolino from Pueblo. And our top 3 for volume, the Phillips Team, Foothills at number 3, the Dolph Team, Foothills at number 2, and Seed Property Group was number 1. Moving on to GCI teams, Platinum Property Team was number 10. Dawn Howe Group was number 9. The Foot Team was number 8. Jill McFerrin Group from Partners Colorado Springs, number 7. Number 6, Valor Home Team. Team Rochelle Cozzolino, number 5. Malarcy Home Network, number 4. And our top 3 GCI teams, Phillips Team, the Dolph Team, and Seed Property Group from DTC. Congrats all. Moving on to groups, 3 or more licensees. In production, number 10 with 9 units, the PCS Pro Team for closed units. The Tiffany Home Team. Number 9 with 10 units, High City Group, Denver Southeast. Number 8, Kibler Group and Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group. Number 7, Relevate Number 6, the Dixon Group tied with Jamie Baker Orr team. Number 5, the Lucic Group. Number 4, Towner Group, and our top 3 closed units, Empower Home Team, the Johnson Team, and EHP number 1. Congrats all. Moving on to volume, the Core Group came in 10th, Lantern Home Group 9th, Kibler Group 8th, the Dixon Group 7th. Number 6 is Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group. Number 10 is the Towner Group, and the Johnson Team was number 4. Top 3 closed volume, Lucic Group at 8.4, Empower Home Team at 9.2, and Elite Home Partners at 12.8. Great job all. Moving to finally GCI for top groups, Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group was number 10, Kibler Group number 9, the Tiffany Home Team number 8, Lantern Home Group number 7, the Dixon Group number 6, the Johnson Team number 5, Lucic Group number 4, and our top 3, Towner Group from Grand Junction, Empower Home Team, Colorado Front Range from DTC, and Elite Home Partners at number 1 with $342,027. Oops. Top expansion hubs. Top expansion teams. Hubs must be in Colorado for February. Closed units, number 3 was Homes of Expansion Network. Number 2, the PCS Pro Team. Number 1, Relevate. Volume, Homes of Expansion, the PCS Pro Team, and Relevate in that order. And for GCI, Homes of Expansion Network, 102,000, PCS Pro Team, 184,000, Relevate, 191,000. Great job, expansion teams. And great job, all. Market Center production, February 2024. Client's Choice was in number 5 for closed volume. Denver West, number 4. Partners, Colorado Springs, number 3. DTC, number 2. And Denver Downtown led in closed volume in February. Units, Denver West was number 5. Pueblo had 84 units and came in 4th. Top 3, Partners, DTC, Denver Downtown. Listings taken. Number 5 was Denver North with 47. Number 4 was Partners Colorado Springs with 68. Number 3 was Denver Downtown with 82. Denver Tech Center came in first place, which was a huge upset to Pueblo, who has been leading this category for I don't know how long. And they may catch up next month. We'll see what happens. Cato, over to you for an update.
All right. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? And give me 1 second here. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. So, we've had a pretty interesting month when it comes to finances across the country. You know, the big topic has been that inflation is still growing, and it's growing at a rate that the Fed did not expect it to grow. So that is a slight concern. Janet Yellen just last week said she wished she hadn't said inflation was transitory, and that now they're worried about the amount of commercial real estate that is having issues that may now cause issues for some of these regional banks. Take a look, the regional banks, we do expect to start seeing failures sometime around the end of April. So we will see some of that folding in. There's going to be a lot of talking heads saying a lot of things. It is not as big a deal right now as people are saying. What it will do is it will cause people to be a little more worried and take more of their money out of the banks, which will exacerbate the problems. That being said, let's look at Colorado GDP. Our GDP has dropped slightly, but that's actually good for us to slow down our economy a little bit and get us to where we need to get to. Because what we really need for our real estate market to recover is we need GDP to come down a bit and we need unemployment to go up a bit. And the GDP will naturally go down a bit if unemployment comes up, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. Overall, though, current forecast for GDP for 2024 for Colorado is 2.2%. The previous forecast was 1.5% for the year. For the country, they're looking more about a 3.4. So we will slow down better. That means we will have a stronger real estate market here in Colorado. Now, one of the things that's most important to understand, though, is that core inflation is higher than total inflation. And what that means is that the things that people don't buy every day are the things that are coming down, but gasoline, food, things like that are still staying high, which most of you, I'm sure, are aware of when you look at your own checkbooks. So that is something that will affect our housing prices moving forward, in that when families have less usable income, they obviously can't spend as much on household. So that is one of the things that we're keeping a very close eye on. Now, if you look at the Fed and the constant moving target that they're looking at, this chart will give you an idea from different meetings where the new starting point was at, and from there, how they get to 2%. If you've listened to me for the last couple of years, you know that I have said that there will not be a soft landing from this, that the chickens have come home to roost. This image explains why very readily, in that the steeper that this incline gets to move back down to 2%, the harder it is to get a soft landing. If you want to talk about soft landing, then I'll tell you, go look at a video of an albatross landing. That's kind of what this is going to look like. It's going to be bumpy. That does not mean that the world is ending. That simply means that you need to be better at understanding what this is so you can explain it to your clients and how it will affect their home sales and their home purchase. But this is not doom and gloom. This is simply a market correction. Unemployment. Unemployment is actually one of the things that's not being talked about enough. The government has created a huge amount of jobs. That's where the biggest sector is of people getting hired. One of the issues with that is we need unemployment to go higher. The incumbents do not want unemployment high because that can really hurt them. The Fed, what the Fed really wants in the background is this 6% line that I put here. That would slow the economy down mathematically to where we need it to be. However, that would be suicide for any incumbents. So now you have the Fed fighting with the incumbent parties and the incumbents both sides of the aisle to get unemployment up. The Fed would like to see it raise. The incumbents wouldn't. I don't care if you're pro-Trump, pro-Biden, or you're like me, that's neutral. It's either way, we need this to come up so that we can slow down our economy, because that is what's causing the inflation, which eventually will lead to disinflation, then could possibly lead to deflation, which is a situation we definitely don't want. So 6% is really where we want that to get to. And right now we are at about 3.9. So we do need unemployment to come up. Looking at personal savings rates. In the personal savings rate, the chart on the top shows you from basically 2020 where we're at from when the pandemic started. And you can see when we influxed a huge amount of cash into the market, basically people put a lot of money into savings, and over time that wore away. We're at one of the all-time lows of our savings rate. I started the second chart in October of 1973 when we had the oil embargo to show you that rates were extremely high. Oil was just beyond what we could imagine. When we did the math, it made gas about $9.11 a gallon in today's rates, to give you an idea. And yet people were saving more money. Now we have this issue. Our all-time low was in July of 2005 at 1.4%. So we're definitely higher than that, but that is causing a problem with younger people being able to come into the market as first-time home buyers. And that's one of the things that feeds the market well. So if you have young people in your life, one of the things you can tell them start doing is really starting to sock away money. That will also slow down inflation, and it will help our economy overall. Mortgage. We've actually seen a pretty good uptick overall in the last couple of months on mortgage applications. February had a little bit of a downturn that most people weren't expecting, but it seems to be back on track right now, especially for the seasonality. So we look pretty good there. We're seeing days on market being very low for homes overall. Not much of a change between last month and this month on rates. They went up a bit, they came down a bit, but overall they've stayed relatively steady. I think we're going to see a relatively steady rates for a little while here, because when you start looking at the averages overall, and this was one of the slides that I took out of Gary's presentation that Ruben put together for Family Reunion. Historical average from 1972 to 23 was 7.74%. And if you look back, we're at 7.505 right now. So we're really right there. When you look at what we did from 90 to 2023, which was not a normal market, but we felt like it was normal because most of us came into real estate since then, we averaged 5.98%. So we're just getting back to what is more of a historical average right now. And your buyers will get used to this. Do not worry, that's not a big deal at all. Treasury spreads. Our treasury spread right now is really high, and this goes back to a couple of things. Number one, like I said, banks know that they are in trouble with a lot of the real estate issues going on in commercial right now. So the banks are really picking their spreads and trying to keep them as high as possible, basically creating money for a rainy day. So right now we're looking at about 2.85%. We expect to see that come down to about 2.5% this quarter, but I won't expect to see it come below that anytime soon. In fact, if we start seeing banks tumble, you'll start to see that spread climb because banks will automatically raise their rates to ensure that they're not the next victim. Affordability. One of the things a lot of people have talked to me about is Colorado doesn't seem very affordable anymore. Now, this chart is national, and it shows that the average person in 2023 spent about 32% of their income on, and this is gross income, by the way, on housing. That's actually not too bad. However, when you look at Colorado, we are at 43.62%. So we're a little higher than the national average, which is one of the reasons why in Colorado our sales slowed a lot more than other parts of the nation for a while there. They are coming back very strong, though, this season we're seeing. Schiller, this came in a slightly surprising, went up a little more than we expected, but we're starting to see ourselves around the corner on this. So we are seeing some appreciation start again. The Fed dot plot hasn't changed at all. So we're still seeing that the Fed is expecting to lower rates over the next few years. Now, I'm going to give you a caution there. There is a very good possibility if inflation keeps up the way it has been going, the same trend line, that you're actually going to see at least one increase between June and August before you see a decrease. You're not going to hear a lot about that on the news stations because that's not the narrative they want to tell, but it is very likely based off of what the Fed may need to do to slow the economy down again. Home sales. One of the things that Gary talked about that I thought was absolutely brilliant was if you look at it, we were at about 4.1 million across the country last year. When you actually start looking at these numbers, those are the number of people that someone died, someone got married, someone was born, kids changed school, all these reasons that people automatically buy homes no matter what's going on with the economy. That's kind of the baseline. Everything above that is people want another house, but they don't necessarily need it. So we expect to see a little bit of an increase this year, but not a drastic increase. So one of the things that I believe it was Jay said on the stage was, hey, can't get worse. It's going to stay there or it's going to get better. So here's the thing. Really double down on your sphere. Sphere is going to be the key to you getting more deals this year, by far more than anything else, more than social media, more than a lot of other things. Median price of homes did rise 2.5% to 576, 584. Sales did go up a little bit. We were up 31.2%, as well as volume went up. Months on market went down. So we're starting to see that seasonality really play into this a bit. And we're down again to 25 days on the market. We're expecting this month to hit somewhere around 18 days in the market. So we're starting to see if people are priced correctly, that they're going on the market and getting it sold quick. My team had one that we listed. We sold it within 1 day and got well above asking. So if you're pricing them right, you're going to get them sold. You're starting to see more greens on this far right column than we were in the last few months. That's good. It's showing that we're starting to move in the general right direction overall. Kelly will have a copy of these slides so that you can look at these in more detail. Obviously, I'm going to suggest that each of you every month go on DMAR's site, look at all the stats in great detail. But what I want you to see is that active listings and new listings have gone up dramatically. That means over the next 90 days, realtors are going to be paid a lot better than they have been. So it's starting to break. Get out there, door knock, talk to your sphere, do what you need to do to build your business. If you want some more details on Gary's slides as well, we did a couple sessions on it in Money Market Mondays. And if you need to, we can get you those slides as well. Total listings 2023 was down in the Colorado area, but we are already seeing a little bit of a trend upward in 2024. So again, we're expecting a much stronger year this year than we had in 2023 in the state of Colorado, especially with our GDP dropping a bit. It will slow things down and let everybody take a breath so that we get a stronger real estate sales season going on. All right. Nothing has changed in what we're suggesting that you do. Sphere, do as much of that as you can. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to change that to say, go to Mega Camp instead of Family Reunion. I forgot to change that, my apologies. You need to be on at least 3 listing appointments a week, folks. Make sure you're getting those buyers agencies signed ahead of time, like Russ said a little while ago. Make sure you're getting into these classes that Region is bringing to you and the ones that you have in your market centers. And make sure that you're really watching the REOs and the foreclosure market. If you don't know who to call, start getting the pre-foreclosure lists. And it really is a foreclosure list, but we call them pre-foreclosures in Colorado. And start door knocking those, getting to those people because they're in desperate need and they're pretty much ready to go. Please make sure that you are following all applicable laws when you're sending emails and making calls. Russ, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Cato. And I'm excited about our speaker today for the regional rally. We've got MAPS coach Andy Hannigan, and this ties right into what Cato said about talking to your database. Andy is one of the top MAPS coaches in terms of how to handle a database. Andy, take it away.
All right. I appreciate it, Russ. Russ asked me to be on this mostly because a couple of weeks ago, he called me and said, hey, I got to teach a market center about data bank work. I don't really want to do any research. Tell me what to say. And it worked really, really well for him. And now, because you can't be a prophet in your own land too often, he's asking me to come in and do the same thing he did. So here we are. I'm going to be teaching about the DTD2 and just really simplifying things for you guys. So you have crystal clarity on precisely what you have to do every day from a contact standpoint. And again, we identify contact as a bilateral conversation. It can be voice to voice, face to face. It can be text or direct message, as long as they respond and you have a meaningful conversation about real estate where you ask for some type of order. Hey, who do you know looking to buy, sell, or invest? Would you like to join my team? Would you like to come to my event? Would you like to join my market center? Would you who do you know that would be a wonderful fit for this position? You got to ask for the order. It doesn't really count as a contact. It's just another conversation. You know, there's exceptions to it, though. Let's not talk about those today. Let's keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to prove to you really quickly, and this is only, we'll do it with the SOI first, and then we'll make it a little bit more complex and maybe add a layer or two, depending on how much time we have. And I'm imagine we're going to have some time for questions, or if somebody says, I've got a super stump, I want to stump you because I've got a super unique situation and my situation's special or different. We usually can work through that as well if we got enough time. So who would be a volunteer for me to help them kind of gain clarity? And everybody, I would invite you to get out your calculators on your phone. We're going to do some very simple arithmetic so you yourselves can answer the questions that I'm asking whoever, and then you can get your own clarity, your own daily and weekly contacts as well. Oh, I got somebody raise their hand. Sean, is it Modry?
Yes, sir. Yep, Sean Modry.
All right, Modry. All right, Sean, thank you so much for stepping up. And in no way are you a plant whatsoever. and we didn't rehearse anything.
That's
So,
right.
Sean, why don't you go ahead and tell me what your 2023 goal was?
Well, I'll play as an agent,
Uh-huh.
and my 2023 goal was 50 homes sold,
Okay.
50 families served.
All right. What were your results?
I finished the year at about 30.
Mhm.
Well, 30 is where I
30.
finished.
So your gap is what?
20.
20. Okay. And what's your goal this year?
Well, I didn't hit my 50 last year, so we're going to go for 50 again.
All right, 50 again then. All righty. So then tell me, how many people do you have in your SOI, your Mets data bank, that, let's just make it very clear. So if you need to guesstimate here, we can do that. Yet these are the people that you have an acquaintance level relationship with or greater. If they heard your voice, or if you called their phone, their caller ID would pick up, or if they didn't have you saved in their phone because they got a new phone, they would recognize your voice. And you would also have their updated and accurate names, numbers, emails, and mailing addresses. How many people do you have in your data bank?
Well, I just went through this and I had my assistant update everything. So I would say I'm about 500.
Okay, so 500. Your results last year were 30.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got good news. Well, I got really, really great news, and I got bad news, and I got really bad news. What do you want first? By the way, I'm going to give you your bad news no matter what. So the bad
I just
news
want the
is
good
that,
news.
yeah, let's go with the bad news first. The bad news is you're living below your potential.
Okay.
The really bad news is a lot of people are. And even maybe worse news is that we probably already all know this if we've been with KW for a while and been to any type of lead generation classes. The really, really good news is that you have a lot of upside, and we're going to make it very, very crystal clear for you. So that way we remove any perceived or imagined challenges or roadblocks that you have, and we can just make this very, very simple for you. Sound good?
Yeah, I'm all ears.
Okay. So the MREA states that when you communicate to your clients, to your Mets data bank, 33 times a year or more, you get a 12-2 return. Now, that was the MREA 1. We're in the MREA 2 category right now, territory. Are you familiar with the new updated model is?
I'm not.
Okay, so for every time that you do, excuse me. So when you communicate to your Mets data bank 36 times a year or more, you can expect a 10-1 return. So that's one closing for every 10 people you had in your data bank. So with 500 people, you could easily hit your 50 closings when you are communicating to your data bank at 36 times a year or more. Now, 4 of those have to be prospecting, right? That's face-to-face, voice-to-voice. You're reaching out to them. And the other 32 plus are going to be passive in nature. You can just create some type of email, mailing, text campaign, direct message campaign, whatever it needs to be to get those other 32 touches in there. And yet we are responsible for just 4 a year. And that's where we come with the DTD2.
Okay.
Right. Do the data bank 2. Are you familiar with what that is?
Yeah, I've been doing my best to follow it, but
Okay.
in full transparency, I don't love it.
Okay.
I don't love making those calls.
All right. Well, let's see. We can go over why you don't love it. Let's get some clarity first to see if you love it a little more or don't love it a little less. Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. So we have 500 people. That means we have to call those 500 people 4 times a year, contact them, right? How many contacts are we making then in 2024?
Well, it'd be 2,000, right?
Okay, 2,000. Absolutely. So let's get your calculator out on your phone, and we're going to put 2,000 in there. Okay. Now, when are you making your contacts? Monday through Sunday, Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday? Tell me what your lead generation looks like.
Yeah. I do Monday and Thursday, an hour and a half, twice a week.
Monday and Thursday, hour and a half, twice a week right now.
Yeah.
So if we are going to recommit to living above our potential, are you okay if we do Monday through Friday for now, and then we can bunch it up into Tuesdays and Thursdays or Mondays and Thursdays as you see fit? Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So Monday through Friday. And how many weeks of vacation are you taking off in 2024?
Well, I'd like to take 4 weeks this year.
Okay, good. Well, we, as a MAPS coach, we always encourage 1 week a quarter minimum. So 4 weeks is great. We're gonna stick with that then. So that means if we have 48 weeks in a year, 5 days a week, we're making our our contacts. We're looking at 240 days in 2024 rather, where you're going to make your contacts. So we're going to do 2,000 divided by 240. What do you get there?
I got 8.3.
Okay, 8.3. And always when we are talking about lead generation, we're going to round up a little bit. So that way we over budget instead of under budget. So we're going to go to 9 contacts a day. What do you feel about that so far?
Yeah, I think it's doable. Obviously, you know, things get in the way, right?
Yeah, things always get in the way, right? That's why we're looking to simplify things to bring clarity to it. So 9 contacts a day gets you where you need to be as far as 50 closings. So then from there, we're looking at, it takes on average, and this comes from MAPS and KWU, from any lead generation classes I've had, but you're looking at an SOI conversation on average of about 5 minutes. Now I always spot, because I coach a lot of high I's, I spot them 2 minutes. So we go up to 7 minutes. So we're going to do 9 times 7. How many minutes of call time do you get every day?
So it'd be 63 minutes.
63 minutes. So that's not counting leaving voicemails or dialing or preparing your list or anything, which we can help you out with. Anybody can help you out with that. But it's as easy as if you know your DTD2s, you just tag them A's and W's, B's and E's, D's and O's, all the way down to Y's and Z's, right? For 13 weeks. Yet if we're looking at just 63 minutes of talk time a day, you could hit your 50 transactions. Now, what's your average commission?
About 15,000.
Okay, so 50 times 15,000, that's $150,000 a year. You're 3/4 of the way to an MREA at 9 contacts a day.
Yeah. It
Now,
sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds really good, right? Yeah, let's look at if we're looking at 63 times 5, that's Monday through Friday, that's 315 minutes. If you only want to do Mondays and Thursdays because you don't like it and things get complicated, so you want to just isolate those days and get those done and just get it out of the way, then we're looking at divided by 315 divided by 2. You're looking at 157 and a half, so 158 divided by 60. You're looking at 2.63, a little under 3 hours on Monday and 3 hours on Thursday.
Yeah.
Of your DTD2s, and you can hit your 50 for the year.
Yeah.
What do you
That's
feel
awesome.
about that now?
So it's okay if because I take Wednesdays off, right? Because I'm usually working Saturday, Sunday, couple evenings. So Wednesday's kind of my commitment to the family to that I'm available and I'm home and run some errands, get a haircut, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's okay if I break it up like that to manage my.
Are you the boss?
Well, I don't know. I always
Well,
hear
it's absolutely okay. If you hit your goals, you hit your goals.
Okay.
I mean, as your coach in this conversation, I don't care. As long as you hit your goals. My job is to remove the obstacles and the distractions and the imagined valid excuses so you can hit your goals, because lead generation is the one thing. Until we get that done, everything else is a distraction, right?
Yeah. What I think I'll do is for now, I'll probably go ahead and add in Monday and Friday. So I'll go for 4 days during the week. If I'm able to achieve that, I may just do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, if I can stay on target. Okay.
Then you're looking at roughly an hour and 20 minutes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm doing the math correctly. Now, here's the thing, Sean, just so we can add a layer of complexity to this, since it's crystal clear for people who conveniently have the amount of people in their data bank to hit their goals for the year. Let's say that we don't. Let's say that you only have 300, right? So you have 300, then we do 300 times 4. That's 1,200 contacts a year divided by 240. That's 5 contacts a day times 7. That's 35 minutes a day for our SOI, for our data bank calls, right? Now, on top of that, MAPS ran numbers. And again, this might shift a little bit, but for simplicity, we will keep it at 120. MAPS ran some numbers about 3 years ago. And they showed that the mastery clients, if they were, this is all types of different people, whether it's SOI, door knocks, open houses, FSBOs, expired, circle prospecting, DMs, calling out of the white pages. If they took all of those together and said, if a MAPS mastery client made 120 contacts, they averaged 1 earned closing. Okay. So
Okay.
let's say that you just had your 300 people and you had the white pages, nothing else, right? What we're looking at then is we already know that we have 35 minutes dedicated towards our 300, right? Our 300 and our SOI, that's going to get us our 30. We're responsible for an additional 20. So we're going to do 20 times 120. That's an additional 2,400 contacts for the year, right? Divide that by 240. And again, it conveniently gets you 10. I didn't pre-plan that one, but it gets you 10 additional for for each day. So in addition to your 35 minutes, you're looking to do times 7. That's 70 plus your 35. You're looking at 105 minutes each day in order to hit 50 closings with a 300-person data bank in the white pages. And again,
Okay.
there's better lead sources in the white pages. I know that I'm being a little silly with this. And yet, at the end of the day, if all you had was the white pages, then all you would need to do, along with your 300 people, is make 105 contacts, or excuse me, 105 minutes worth of lead generation a day, lead generation contacts a day. That's conversation time, mind you, right?
Right. Conversation time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow that. So I need to
Yeah,
time
yeah.
block more because of, obviously people not answering.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're out there teaching Ignite and you remember and retain this information and you have someone that raises their hand and says, I'm new here, I don't know anyone. Well, I don't know how you got here if you don't know anybody. Yet, welcome to Colorado. And all you need to do is grab the white pages and have 120 conversations for every one closing you want to earn. Welcome to Colorado. Welcome to KW.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it becomes that simple. And everything else that we do in our head will cause it to be less than simple. And yet, in a vacuum, that's what we have to make this very, very easy for ourselves. It shows two things. Number one is that your SOI is, what's the math? 4 times more efficient? No, 3 times more. It's 3 times more efficient than if you just called out the white pages, right?
Yeah.
And these are people who know you, like you, trust you.
Yeah.
And number two, it makes the math very, very simple for you to do if you have enough people. So again, my encouragement to anyone that asks, what do I do if I don't have enough? Well, find more people, go out there and develop more relationships, get them into your 36 touch program and watch the magic happen. Now, again, if you pay attention in the MREA, it could take 1 to 2 years of seasoning to start getting this. So if you are tracking and you're going, you know what, Andy, I'm tracking at 35. And we're in the middle of the year. Well, then we know that we've got to do 15 times 120 and then pace for the rest of the year that amount of contacts that we got to bake into our call plan in order to make it have a fighter's chance of hitting our goals.
Yeah, I feel like this year, a lot of the conversations I have with my SOI is that it's probably best for them to stay put. So I would expect that I'm going to need to make more contacts in order to still achieve that 50, because I think that ratio will be a little bit off this year. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that you're thinking future pacing this now based on the conversations you're having. That is absolutely correct. I have other coaching clients that will say, I'm not getting the same returns right now. People are waiting, they're sitting on their hands, or they just don't have a good reason to move right now. Great. Then precisely, you're going to have to start doing some arithmetic to see what we had, and we can do it together, obviously, to see what we need to bake into our lead generation plan to up that, right? And what do we need to do to find and meet more people that are more motivated, or and where are the motivated right now? We go to now we look at the shift tactics and see if there's anything that we need to bake into our plan that's more specific than just 120 contacts, right? We can get more granular with that based on your skill set and the available ready business. Again, we like to ask the question, who's winning? Who's currently winning in this market? And then where are those people? Right now in St. Louis, it's still the seller. The seller who doesn't have a house that they need to buy is winning, and they feel like they're winning at the end. That's it. Those are the happiest people.
I'll take all those.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe we start formulating a plan, if you're really good at presentations, to start speaking to senior retirement homes. Right. And now we have a plan and that we can execute to where it's like, all right, how many people do we need to get in there and talk to in order to reasonably expect to convert and close to hit our goals for the year?
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah. So the other thing for me, especially, this is so important because I got to be butt in seat almost all the time. I'm a coach and I lead generate. And, you know, Russ can probably tell you better than me, but my team, we had recorded 67 closings last year. I think Russ's Market Center said we have 53, whatever, somewhere between 53 and 67. But I do 10 to 15 hours of real estate a week only, and did that. And most of it is butt in seat outside of going on listing appointments. That's it. And so it's something that I've done for, 12, 15 years. And when I looked and just did the math, because we did a lot of onboarding for people who were either cappers that were potentially coming to KW or new cappers that were in KW, a lot of us, we did onboarding coaching for them through MAPS back in 2020. And I started just doing the numbers with them, and it made it very, very easy for them. And they came into KW with all these different training opportunities to distract them with a very clear path. And usually it was Ignite and Bold were the next steps. So that way they didn't get so distracted with all these other things that they could be doing.
I love it. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to keep it simple in our coaching conversations, because once they leave there, it becomes more and more complicated until that next week when we can simplify it again for them.
Awesome.
All right. How do we do? How do you feel?
I thought that was great. I love it.
Okay, good. Do we have any additional questions from you, concerns? You kind of coming from the mind of a concerned or maybe overworked agent?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the challenge is everything works till you get punched in the face, right? And you're calling, and then you get an objection that it throws you off, or you get lack of results. And I feel like, and transparently, that's my challenge in the past, is calling my SOI, is kind of that fatigue of, these results are slow, right? They can be slower. So, that's tends to be what hinders me in the past.
And it comes down to this might be a conversation that we have to touch on over the course of some time, because those agents usually have the nose to the grindstone. They're not usually looking up at their big vision, and they're not necessarily calibrated to think long-term thinking at the moment. Again, if you have these brand new non-Kellerized Keller agents that you're coaching, a lot of times when I get on the phone, I can hear beeps and buzzes and everything else because their phones are buzzing while they're talking to me. No wonder you can't work your game plan, because you're getting hit in the mouth by all kinds of distractions.
Yeah.
The first thing we do is help them adopt a better mindset that, hey, these distractions are the punches in the mouth, and honoring your time blocks in the morning is the easiest way to set yourself up for success. If we're looking at 105 minutes from 8 to 10, you could have everything you need to get done to generate new business for yourself, and then service your clients for the rest of the day. It doesn't have to start at noon. It can start at 10. Right? And I'm an early riser, and my data bank just happens to be as well. And so I can get started at 8 and I can be done at 9:30, 10, because I've been doing this for a while, and you get better and more efficient.
Yeah, that's the thought I had, is start earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be work.
Andy,
Yes,
you
sir.
said something really good there, I think. You said, and I just want to make sure I heard this right. So 50 units, 500 person database, 7 minutes a call, 63 minutes a day of calls. But if someone on this Zoom has nobody in their database, they just started in the business, it's really just 189 minutes a day of calling, or 3 times, to have the same results. So using Sean's math, Sean's database will get him $750,000 in GCI at 63 minutes, but anybody can have the same GCI with just 3 hours plus a day of lead gen.
Absolutely. And let's look at it this way. If you were to be 40% profitable, that's $300,000 in your bank account. What's more important than that? Like, what punch in the mouth is worth getting upset over or distracted over versus that? When you juxtapose those two things and you make the 300 or the 750 as big as possible. And if you're a single agent servicing 50 clients, that 750 is almost all yours.
Yeah, it's going to be more profitable. You're going to do better than 40%.
Yeah, you're going to do a lot better. you know, you got in our market center, Lance Merrick is a single agent. He does a lot better. His profit percentage is significantly higher than 40%. And we can honestly say he's close to 750. It's a different market here in St. Louis, but the GCIs still will be close with the amount of, I think he was over 100 closings. So yeah.
We brought in $912,000 last year.
There you go. Don't tell me that.
Sorry.
He's gonna rub that in my face now that he knows that I know that, because you're gonna tell him, I'm sure.
Anybody have any questions for Andy? All right. Thank you, sir. Andy, can you put your info in the chat in case anyone wants to reach out to you for questions or to learn about your coaching program?
Yeah, and Russ just warned them if they do try to follow me on Facebook.
Yeah. KW Colorado cannot officially endorse anything Andy Hannigan puts on social media. So thank you guys for being here for our March 2024 regional rally. See you tomorrow on Coffee and Profit Share. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Andy.